Hello, and welcome to the ENFUSE Bioelectricity Module Part 1. The topic of this module is bioelectrical signals and systems, and we'll be talking about how biosignals are created and the electrical systems that are used to measure them. So this slide has a summary of the circuits and the systems concepts that will be covered in this module. And whether we're talking about an electrical system, like a cell phone for example, or a bioelectrical system, like a human body, we have energy that's being dissipated in some places and energy that is being stored at other places in the system. And resistors are what we use to represent energy dissipation, and capacitors are used to represent energy storage, along with inductors. It's the relationships that describe how the voltage and the current are distributed in a network of resistors and capacitors, for example, that are Ohm's law and Kirchhoff's current and voltage laws. So we'll be reviewing those here as well. And then on the system side, we have three important concepts we'll talk about briefly: filtering, amplification, and electrical models. Filters and amplifiers typically contain several resistors and capacitors, along with other components like inductors, transistors, and diodes, and that's why we put them into the systems concept category. Models are often mathematical-based, high-level representations of filters and transistors, and even of complete instruments. So here's the outline for this module on bioelectricity. First, we have a video on generation and measurement of bioelectrical signals, and then there are videos talking about related circuits concepts and systems concepts. There's also a pre-lab exercise, an overview of the lab that you'll perform, and then the lab itself, and then there's some post-laboratory exercises, and we've also provided some supporting materials. For this module on bioelectricity, there are three learning outcomes, and the first one is to understand this link between the bio side, or the biological side, and the electrical side. And what we'll see is that some of the same analysis techniques that are used for circuits also apply to these bioelectrical systems. And in the previous slide we talked about resistors and capacitors, and we'll see how these actually define the time constant of an object or device. And that takes us to our second learning outcome, which is to understand a little bit more about the relationship between time constants and filtering. And the third outcome is to gain an understanding of how an electrocardiogram or a pulse measuring instrument operates as a system. So we'll look at making measurements, but also talk about the measurement system itself. And we'll see that these systems include sensors, filters, amplifiers, each of which are designed to meet a specific functional requirement as a unit.